Hello, this is Todd Luck, and this is a retro review. Hey, do you remember that time Batman met Tarzan? Well, you might not. This was actually in 1999, and so this was a time between the comic crash in the 90s and the rise of geek culture and comicsology. So this is a time period with a lot of comic books that people might not know about nowadays. And so this does have a trade paperback, but it is out of print. So why don't we take a look at it? So this was, as you can see at the top, this was a Dark Horse DC comic book crossing over these two characters. The covers are done by Dave Dorman, and Dave Dorman was well known at the time for doing painted Star Wars covers. This is my favorite one. Look at the colors, look at how it pops, look at the contrast, just beautiful, beautiful. Unfortunately, that's not quite what we got on these covers. They're still good, though. I like this first cover. It really shows the two characters meeting for the first time, or at least on a cover. And it's just kind of cool just to see them on the same cover. The other covers, you know, kind of a mixed bag here. This one's a little too red, and Batman kind of blends into the gorilla. But they do show, you know, kind of classic circumstances that would happen to these characters. You know, here's the villain with the damsel in distress, or at least for that particular scene, with the two heroes. Doesn't quite pop as much as I'd like, though. But this last cover, my goodness, what do you expect to happen when Batman and Tarzan get together? Well, of course, they're going to get captured, chained together, and thrown into a watery pit with alligators. I mean, that's just a given. It's just a well-done cover, and there aren't that many covers that are set underwater, so it's always kind of cool when you get one of those. And so the interior artist is Igor Kordy, who is probably best known for his Marvel work. He did a run on Cable and then ended up being the substitute artist on Grant Morrison's X-Men run when they needed someone to get that book back on schedule. And his artwork is stylized. You know, you may look at the faces and be like, oh, I don't know if that's how Bruce Wayne should look. But as long as you can get past that, his artwork is just gorgeous at times, and he just does really strong storytelling. It's very cinematic in this miniseries, which made sense because at the time, you know, a lot of people knew Batman from the animated series and the movies, so, you know, cinematic storytelling in a Batman comic was a big thing. I mean, how perfect is this splash page right here? He could also do some really fantastic scenery. I mean, this is just a really gorgeous splash page. I think this comic is worth getting just for the art. This 4-issue miniseries is just really nice looking. However, the story, I don't feel like lives up to the epic visuals. Ron Marz does the scripts, and basically the story has these early 20th century versions of Batman villains, but they're kind of alternate versions. They're watered down. There's a chick who puts on the Catwoman costume for one scene. There's a treasure hunter who does get an injury to his face, but that's kind of the only connection to Two-Face he has. The story is basically the treasure hunter with a small group of men take over an entire lost city. And it feels a little underwhelming. It feels like there should have been a bigger force, a bigger threat when we get, you know, two characters this big together. If we're going to get Batman and Tarzan together, it should be something really epic. I don't know why that was. I mean, it's only 4 issues, so, you know, there's only so much you can do in that space. And, you know, for what it is, it's probably about as good as it's going to get. Now, Ron Marz would return to this lost city that he created. It's a lost colony of Egypt, somewhere hidden in the jungles of Africa. And he would return to it in an online comic strip on Edgar Rice Burroughs' website. And it's for Korak, so it's Korak the Killer, and it would be kind of a sequel to this story, and it would be done absolutely right. It's this, you know, big group of armed men led by some Nazi who takes it over, and Korak and this princess have to go to the city and, you know, kind of sneak around and try to free everybody, and it's just so cool. And so I really recommend that. It's part of the subscription for the comic strips on Edgar Rice Burroughs' website. And so I'd still recommend this miniseries. You got a couple nice covers, gorgeous interior art, the first and only time Batman and Tarzan have ever met. And while I found the villain to be underwhelming, I can't argue with the craft that the story is told with. So I think if you're at all interested, I think it's worth picking up and giving a try. So that's it. Like and subscribe for more videos. And until next time, see ya.